What's up YouTube, I'm Vaughn and this is the Gear channel where we discuss collectibles, hobbies, competitive games from tabletop to video games, and today we are reviewing the new set of Digimon card game, BT09, because supposedly it's supposed to be out by the end of the month. But in today's review, we're going to check out not just the known super rares and secret rare, what to expect, but also a lot of the rogue cards that we most likely are going to see be played competitively. So definitely this review is going to be showing out all the cards that might have potential and see play. But first, before we begin, friendly reminder to definitely like and subscribe, and especially subscribe because it really helps the channel a lot, and I do really appreciate it. So with that being said, let's get it in. So starting with the Digi eggs, so pretty much all of the Digi eggs have a similar ability of either decreasing 1000 DP or increasing 1000 DPs. Now there's only two to actually know. So the first one is Pago Mod X Antibody, because it's the only Digi egg that actually has X Antibody in its traits, which mean that you can actually get a lot of X Antibody abilities that involves of having a X Antibody in its Digivolution, so you can benefit a lot from this card. But also its ability, your turn, once per turn, when a card is added to your security stack, one of your opponent's Digimon gets 1000 DP for the turn. So if you have a yellow deck that actually focuses of gaining security and also minusing your opponent's Digimon DP, this might be an actual good card to use in this deck. Now another one to note is actually Pago Mod, which is when attacking, you may trust a card from your hand to have this Digimon get 1000 DP for the turn. Now it's not once per turn, but also there is a lot of good cards that could benefit from being trashed from the hand. So this is one that we could see potential play. Now, most importantly, we are getting a lot of new rookies, and especially ones that actually have a play cost of 2 with 3000 DP. Now, 3000 DP for a play cost is 2 is quite good. Now, sadly, the only colors that we're missing in the set is actually green and purple, but we're actually getting quite a bit of these. So we might actually see more Rookie Rush players since they are getting more cards for the deck. Now, one amazing card to actually know is Gabamon X Antibody. Now, if you're not familiar with this is what it does. It can Digivolve for 0 from a Gabamon. Now, this ignores the color of that Gabamon because it just focuses on the name. Sadly, you can't Digivolve a Gabamon X Antibody for another Gabamon X Antibody. It's only for just Gabamon. But even though it definitely could see a lot of amazing play because his ability is on play or when Digivolving, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 card with Greymon or Omnimon in its name, and 1 X Antibody among them to your hand. Place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. Now the reason why this is so good, because especially for decks that are playing like War Greymon and have a bunch of different Agumons, this is a free engine that actually just thins out the deck right away. You could Digivolve over a Agumon for free, get that draw for the Digivolution, and then use the effect of either adding a Greymon or Omnimon. But also, if you are maxing out a 4 of this, you can also add another Gabamon X Antibody. So it actually thins out the deck a lot, and it could definitely make a lot of decks a lot more consistent because of it. So definitely a very good card to watch out for. Next, we do have the Omnishamon X Antibody. Now, this is a very good card. You could Digivolve over Omnishamon for free, but it's the when Digivolving effect, it gets Blitz. Now, the reason why this is so good is because it's a level 5. So you could pay 3 just to have a level 5 Digimon with 8000 DP with Blitz. So if you have any Digimon or even just an extra security, you could definitely do that. Now his other effect that he has besides the Blitz is your turn while this Digimon has an Omnimon, Shoutmon, or X Antibody in its Digivolution cards. This Digimon can also attack your opponent's unsuspended Digimon, so this can actually get, if you're playing already passing turn, this could get rid of some nuisance cards, or if you actually just want get that extra security, you definitely can, and especially for a level 5 to have Blitz, it's actually very good. Now we do have Gabamon. Now Gabamon is very similar to the Agumon, so Digivolve with 0 from Gabamon, and then on play when Digivolving, it's revealed 3 to add the Garurumon or the Omnimon, and also 1 X Antibody. Now, you can also potentially see this play with the purple deck, so a mix of blue and purple. It might not be so strong, but at the same time, it just shows more options that you could do with the Gabamon, which are not that bad. Now, another key card to actually know is Jellymon. Now, Jellymon is your turn. Once per turn, when you play a blue tamer, draw a card. Now, this is a very good card, and also it's going to have even more support in this set. And also, the Digivolution effect is not that bad. When an effect adds a card to your hand, return one of your opponent's level 3 Digimon to its owner hand. Now, you're going to see that this actually has a lot more potential, especially with its option cards. Now, another card to note is Piranimon, which is actually just a level 5 Digimon that has Rush. Now, this actually can see potential play in some blue hybrid decks, like there are some pro plays of either if they just play the Tamer and they actually want to attack with the new Tamer, or even just her playing. But there's also a lot of ways to actually bring it out, especially with Whalemon decks as well. So it's actually a very good blue Digimon to have Rush. So there's a lot of potential with that card. And the reason why it's also good is especially with Metal Piranimon, which is when attacking, you may play a Digimon card with Piranimon and its name from this Digimon Digivolution card without paying its memory. So there's definitely some synergy when it involves with these two. So they're very, very good. Now we do get a Tori Agumon with a play cost of 2 and 3000 DP, which is not bad. But one card to definitely keep an eye out is definitely Pillowmon. Now, Pillowmon literally screws up like my Cherubimon deck. So all turn players can't play Digimon by effect. So it could definitely hurt a lot of decks if this is out. So this is definitely a card to watch out for. Then we do have Salmon X Antibody, which is Digivolve 0 from Salmon. When Digivolving, look at the top card of your security stack and you may add it to your hand. If you do, recover +1. So it's not that bad, especially if you're already maxing out on your Salmons. You could definitely potentially put this because it's much more easier to actually see. The only downside is I kind of wish it was on play as well, but I think it would be too busted if it was. But definitely a good card. Now, another thing to note is definitely Woman X Antibody, which is quite good. So Digivolve 0 from Woman. When Digivolving, one of your opponent's Digimon gains security attack -1. This Digimon checks fewer security, okay, until end of your opponent's turn. Then if Woman or X Antibody is in this Digimon Digivolution cards and you have 5 or fewer security cards, recovery 1. So right off the bat, if you have already 5 security, you can literally start your game with pretty much 6 with this card. So it's definitely a very good card, and especially that our other yellow Digi 8 is an X Antibody, so it would definitely get the second ability as well. So it's quite good. Then we have over here, I believe it's the green. So surprisingly, we do have a new, oh, I always pronounce this so wrong, Kokuwamon, okay, X Antibody, which actually is quite cool because it Digivolve for 0 over that. But it's the on play or when Digivolving, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 card with Insectoid or Machine in its traits and 1 X Antibody among them to your hand. Place the rest to the bottom of your deck in any order. Now, the reason why this is so good is because there's a lot of synergy and it adds towards actually building a decent black and green deck. So this can actually change a lot and create a lot of cool new decks as well. Then we do have the green version of Pillowmon, which is all turn players can't play Digimon by effects, which is quite good, which also means if we are building a black and green deck, we're going to definitely have a lot of restriction Digimon, so it's definitely going to be a very anti-meta deck. Next, we do have the Leomon X Antibody, Digivolve 0 from Leomon. All turns, when this Digimon would be deleted in battle, you may play one Leomon from this Digimon Digivolution card without paying its memory cost, which is not that bad, especially if you are Digivolving over the new Leomon from EX2 that has blocking. So definitely you could, if this gets deleted, you could go and bring that Leomon out and you have a brand new blocker for your opponent's turn. So it's actually a pretty good card. I want to mention the Panja Mon, just a little bonus because it kind of synergizes with the Leomon a bit. The only difference, it's level 5, Digivolve over a Panja Mon, which is not that good. Treat this card, Digimon, as if it's also a Leomon in its name. All turn when this Digimon would be deleted in battle, you may play one Leomon from the Digimon Digivolution card without paying its memory cost. So pretty similar to this one, so not that bad. So you could potentially spam some Leomons if you like. Okay, next we're going to go straight into the black. So we do have this Dorumon, which is not that bad. On play, you may trust a card with X Antibody in its trait from your hand to draw 2 cards. Pretty good. Also, there is some synergy with other cards with this, but it's not that great. So not really note, but you can if you guys want to know the inherent effect. Actually, all turn while this Digimon has 2 or more colors, it gets 1000 DP. Why not? I did want to mention this, but it's not bad. It's a blocker with 6000 DP. Now cost is 2. It's not that bad for Digivolution. The only thing I don't like is that the play cost is 5. I feel like most blockers benefit a lot if it's a black blocker. It would actually benefit a lot if it's a play cost of 4. So then we do have the Raptor Drama, which is quite good. So end of attack, if this Digimon has Alphamon in its name, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with a play cost of 5 or less. So that is a pretty good inherent effect. After that, we do have, oh, this I do want to do a shout out because this is actually quite good. So when Digivolving, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 card with Alphamon in its name among them to your hand and place 1 card with X Antibody in its string among them under the Digimon as its bottom Digivolution card. Then trust the rest. Quite good. Also, the inherent effect, end of attack, if this Digimon has Alphamon in its name, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with a play cost of 5 or less. So a lot of good deletions as well. But one thing I want to point out is Mega Dramon, which is quite cool. So when Digivolving, delete one of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers with a play cost of 3 or less. Quite good. Now, if you notice, this set actually has quite a bit of removal towards Tamers, which is quite good. So we're not just relying on you have to play Lucymon, because so far it was pretty much only Lucymon that had the effect of involving with Tamers, but now we actually have other colors that actually could get rid of Tamers as well. So this is actually quite cool. Then his inherent effect is when attacking, if this Digimon has Machine or Dragon Skin in its trait, delete one of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers with a play cost of 3 or less. So potentially you could actually get rid of 2 Tamers in 1 turn, so it's quite good. It is quite expensive of the Digivolution cost being 4, but honestly, for an ability like that, that is quite good. Okay, so now we're going to get into, oh, definitely want to shout this guy out because this is probably one of my favorites. So there are 4 sovereigns, love all of them, collect all of them. These guys are always my favorite from the beginning. So Behumon is really sick and his ability is also really cool. So when Digivolving, unsuspend up to 2 Digimon and or Tamers. Okay, so that's from anywhere. It doesn't even have to be yours. It could be your opponent's as well. Okay, then gain 1 memory for each of your opponent's unsuspended Digimon and Tamers. Now, let me tell you, his Digivolution is 5. That could easily be 0 because of this, okay, or even 1. Then it has the end of turn, so once per turn for every 2 unsuspended Digimon and or Tamers your opponent has in play, trust 1 card from the top of your opponent's security stack. So if your opponent has 4, then they have to trust 2. So really good card. So I actually do like this card a lot. So we might actually see some play with this because there's definitely some cool plays that you could definitely do with this, and even deck ideas if you're focusing more on him. So I actually do like that a lot. So I do have to point out that the Gabamon X Antibody, that we could potentially see some play, but I really doubt it. So the Digivolution is 0, and it's from Gabamon. Now, if you're already playing a purple Gabamon, it's mostly the one that stops the memory gain from everything except from Tamers. So it definitely restricts memory. So Digivolving over that, it's not going to be so good if you're going to just do it for this. But when Digivolving, trust the top 3 cards of your deck. So that is a very good ability for when Digivolving in general. But the thing is, you're never going to Digivolve over a level 2 and get that ability. So interesting card. We might see some play, but not really. Now, one thing to note is definitely this set does have a lot of new support for undead or also dark animals, but there's definitely, so undead, there's bunch of different undead Digimon, but they didn't really have any search engines or synergy. So like it was all little like random ads. Now we are getting more support for undead, which I am actually super excited for. So Drakmon is quite cool. So on play, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, trust one of them, and add 1 card with undead or dark animal in its trait among them to your hand. Place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. Then the Digivolution effect is when attacking, this Digimon may Digivolve into a Digimon card with undead or dark animal in its trait from your trash for its Digivolution cost, which is amazing because if you use the on play effect, okay, and you add a level 4 undead, and then you go and discarded a level 5, so pretty much you could actually speed up the process right away. So it's actually really good, and I actually love this card a lot. So there's actually a lot of deck ideas that I'm going to have with this card, so it's definitely very good. Then we have another Salmon. Purple is on play. Reveal the top 4 cards of your deck. Add 1 2-color purple card among them to your hand. Place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order, so not so bad. Okay, then we have Saglomon. Okay, probably mispronounced it. But when attacking, this Digimon may Digivolve into a Digimon card with undead or dark animal in its traits from your trash for its Digivolution cost. So definitely can speed up process. So you don't have to rely on searching or drawing. And if you have them in your trash, you could definitely benefit a lot. So it's definitely just other alternative ways to Digivolve, which is quite cool. Now we do have this one, so Dex Dorgamon, so also an undead and also X Antibody. So Digivolution 0 from Dorgamon. When Digivolving, you may trash 1 card with Dex or Death X in its name or X Antibody in its traits in your hand to gain 1 memory. So you can gain memory for free. This is quite good. When Digivolving, if this Digimon has Dorgamon in its Digivolution cards or is Digivolving from the trash, one of your Digimon gains blocker and retaliation. So quite a good card, especially with the other cards that could Digivolve him from trash. You could definitely benefit a lot from this. Okay, after that, I did want to point out this one, which is quite good as well. So Digivolving 1 from Dorogreymon. When Digivolving, you may trash 1 card with Dex, Death X, and or X Antibody to also gain 1 memory. So potentially you could actually gain quite a bit of memory with this and the other one as well, so it's not that bad. So when Digivolving, if this Digimon has Dorogreymon in its Digivolution cards or is Digivolved from the trash, delete one of your opponent's level 4 Lure Digimon, so pretty free. I like it a lot. Okay, next we're going to go into the greens. No, the Tamers actually, because we did the greens already. So we're going to go into the Tamers. So there's pretty much only 3 to really know of the dual color ones. So we do have Tai and Kari, which is quite good. So start of your turn, if you have 3 or fewer security, gain 1 memory. If your opponent has 3 or fewer security, gain 1 memory. So potentially of gaining 2 memories, not that bad. And also realistic of the 3 or fewer for both ends is very possible and easy. So you can definitely gain 2 memory. Then the other ability, not that bad. Your turn, when one of your red or yellow Digimon attacks, you may suspend this Tamer to have all your opponent's security Digimon get 2000 DP for the turn. So it's like meh, but at the same time, mostly of gaining the 2 memory is most likely. Now, same thing. Well, they want to point this out because it did involve the Jellymon, so it's a memory tamer, so it sets you to 3. So your turn, when you attack with a Digimon that has Jellymon in its name, or is a level 5 or higher, if you have 7 or fewer cards in your hand, you may suspend this tamer to draw 1. So extra draw, but 7 or fewer, so it depends. Early game can potentially see play right away. Late game, not likely. So our next one that we want to show is TK and Izzy, which is quite good. So start of your main phase, if you have a level 5 or higher Digimon in play, gain 1 memory. If your opponent has a level 5 or higher Digimon in play, gain 1 memory. Your turn, when one of your Digimon digivolve into a yellow or green Digimon, you may suspend this tamer to have one of your opponent's Digimon get 1000 DP until the end of the turn. So it can definitely minus, but also it's very likely to actually gain 2 memory with this as well. And then finally, for the dual memory is the Mimi and Joe. So start of your turn, if you have a suspended Digimon in play, gain 1 memory. If your opponent has a suspended Digimon in play, gain 1 memory, which is very likely. The other effect is alt turn, when one of your green or blue Digimon deletes an opponent's Digimon in battle and survives, you may suspend this Digimon to draw a card. Now this one, I think out of all of the dual ones, is probably the best one, so definitely we could see potential play with this one. Then we do have a few of the rogue ones. So we have Daigo, which is not that bad. Alt turn, when my apologies. When an opponent's Digimon becomes unsuspended during a main phase, you may suspend this tamer to gain 1 memory, which is likely, especially with a lot of competitive decks. This can definitely go off. Your turn, when one of your Digimon digivolve into a black level 6 Digimon, it gains blocker until the end of your opponent's turn. So this is actually quite good. So our big level 6 black Digimon gains blocker as well. So it's a good card for that. Then we have this one that we can see potential play because it's actually not bad at all. So, and especially for Mastermon, we could definitely see this. So on play, you may reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 purple or yellow Digimon card among them to your hand. Trust the rest. So definitely there is a lot of synergy with just this effect. Then the other one is all turns. When you play a 2-color purple and yellow Digimon, you may suspend this tamer to gain memory. So this is actually a very good tamer that we could see play in a lot of decks. Then we have Cool Boy. Now, Cool Boy is definitely one that a lot of people are expecting to see play. And the reason why is on play, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 Digimon card with X Antibody in its traits. And 1 option card with X Antibody in its traits among them to your hand. Place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. Your turn, when one of your Digimon digivolve into a same level Digimon with X Antibody in its trait, you may suspend this Digimon, gain a memory, and draw 1. So if you are doing this with the Agumon or any of the X Antibody rookies, that usually costs 0. You could at least gain 1 memory and draw a card. So it's quite good. Security is played without paying its cost, so pretty good card. Okay, now the option that I was mentioning is this one. We're going to go through the other options, but this is the one that I was mentioning. So the effect, while you have a Digimon in play, you may use this card without meeting its color requirement. Security, gain 1 memory and add this card to its owner's hand. Not bad. Main, place this card under one of your Digimon without X Antibody in its Digivolution cards as its bottom Digivolution. Now, Digivolving effect, okay, the inherent one. All turn effects can't trust X Antibody in this Digimon's Digivolution cards. When attacking, this Digimon can Digivolve into a Digimon card with X Antibody in its trait in your hand for its Digivolution cost. Now, security effect, all turn effects can't trust X Antibody in its Digimon's Digivolution cards. When attacking, this Digimon can Digivolve into a Digimon card with X Antibody in its trait in your hand for its Digivolution cost. So it's a very good card, especially that you could just put under your X Antibody Digimon. So now we're going to show you some pretty good options that definitely we might see play. So the first one is definitely the Atomic Megalo Blaster, which is main, choose any number of your opponent's Digimon whose total DP adds up to 10,000 or less and deletes them. Not that bad. You can actually wipe a board. Usually it's going to be a maximum of like 3 maybe, but definitely you could get rid of a lot of nuisance as well. And security is to activate it. Now, one of the best ones is this one, and this is why Jellymon is so important. And this is just insane. So main, return one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon to its owner's hand. Then if you have a Digimon with Jellymon in its name or with Jellymon in its Digivolution card, return one of your opponent's Tamers to its owner's hand. So you could return a level 4 or lower and a Tamer for a play cost of 4. This is insane. This is incredible, and this is such, and it's going to be a nuisance of a card. If someone's maxing out on this card and is playing the Jellymon and everything, this is a very strong card, and the security is activate its main effect, so it's a very good card. Alright, after that, we do have, I believe it was this one, which is Ground Fang, and main is one of your opponent's suspended Digimon and one of their suspended Tamers to the bottom of their owner's deck. So this is incredible. Now, it's not so likely that we're going to see so many suspended Tamers, but we can, and especially that there's a lot of decks that do have Tamers that have other abilities instead of their on play that involve suspending them. So we could potentially suspend return to the bottom of the deck 2 Digimons, and the security is to activate it. So this is a very good card, and it returns it, which is incredible. Honestly, this is a very good option card for green. And then we have Congo, which is main until the end of your opponent's turn. Your opponent's Digimon with play cost of 7 or less can't attack players, and cards can't be added to the security stack by your opponent's effect. Now, this is a very anti-yellow card, so definitely if you are against a yellow deck that involves stacking the security, this thing is just going to say no to them. And for a play cost of 2, this is incredible. Now, I think like a lot of black decks are actually going to be planning to play this, because especially with the formats that we're seeing a lot of yellows that's involved gaining as well, this might be main. Now, it also depends on your local tournaments. If there's not really a lot of yellow players, then it might not be that bad. But at my locals, there's a lot of yellow hybrids that's actually focused on gaining security. So for a lot of the black deck players, this actually going to be like one of the best cards for them, because they could just stop all of their plays. So this is a very good card to watch out for. And that's pretty much it for all the rogue cards that we might see competitive play. So if there's any other cards that you actually want me to go through, or if you want me to go through and just refresh your memories for the higher rarities, the super rares, the secrets, or if you want me to just do a full list on what each card does, definitely comment down below. Now, as usual, if you guys enjoyed today's video, you know what to do. Like and subscribe, and especially subscribe because it really helps the channel a lot, and I do really appreciate it. And if you guys want a sneak peek of future products we're planning to review here on the channel, you can follow me on my Instagram, VaughnGear. I'm Vaughn, and this was the Gear Channel.